Welcome back to another edition of the Burnout with Anthony, and we're gonna dive right into this story that I ran across yesterday, and basically this story is just to let you know that everybody who have kids is not a parent. It goes on to say South African mother charged with selling missing 6-year-old daughter. Now, when I first heard about this article, I had to go and dig a little deeper because I said, well, that's kind of, I don't think nobody would be that devious and devilish and trifling to do something like that. But hey, I was dead wrong. It says Cape Town, South Africa. That's where this happened at. And I'm getting this out of the news source is News Nation. And it says, the mother of a 6-year-old girl who has been missing in South Africa for nearly 3 weeks was arrested and charged Thursday with kidnapping and selling or trafficking her daughter. A shocking twist in the case that has seized the country attention and sparked deep anger in the small, poor coastal community where the family lives. You know what? I done came to the conclusion that nothing really surprises me anymore. And there's always some element that comes in and surprises me that somebody would do this. And it goes on to say the girl, Jocelyn Smith, has still not been found, and police renewed calls for every citizen, every person to help find her amid fears she have been taken to a different city or even out of the country. In the days after Jocelyn's disappearance last month, local media reported that neighbors have accused her mother of selling her for just over $1,000. The discovery of the child's discarded clothing near Jocelyn's home last weekend heightened emotions. Her mother, Kelly Smith, whose full name by prosecutors Raquel Chantel Smith, has now been charged with kidnapping and human trafficking offenses, along with 3 others, 2 men and a woman. One of the men is Smith's brother. She claims she left Jocelyn with him on February 19 while she went to work. It's a beautiful little 6-year-old girl, and it's just embarrassing. It really is. You can get a picture of her, you can Google Jocelyn Smith, and you can see that it's mind-boggling that somebody would do something to this young girl. The four suspects didn't enter a plea in response to the charges, and another court hearing was scheduled for next week. They will remain in custody, prosecutors said. Jocelyn hasn't been found despite a major search operation involving police, firefighters, city authorities, and specialized sniffer dog units around the family home near Saldanha Bay, about 120 kilometers, 75 miles north of Cape Town of South Africa, West Coast. The National Ministries of Police visited the area and met with Kelly Smith. That lying woman. You know what bothers me? You knew where your daughter was. Well, you knew what happened to her, but you ran these people, run this community in the ground because of your selfishness, your stupidity, and just flat out ignorance. That's really no other way for me to say that. But it's just disappointing that you would sell your 6-year-old daughter from what the neighbor said was just a little over $1,000. Was it? I don't really understand what the money was. The money that important to you? That this what it costs to sell your own daughter? What were you on? What kind of drugs you on? Because no rational human being would do that. But let's go ahead and get a little deep into the article. It says police said a child's clothing has been recovered last weekend near the settlement of the small houses and shacks where Jocelyn lived. It was sent to a laboratory for forensic examination. Community members who are also involved in the search said the clothing was spattered with blood and a knife was also found. Police didn't give any more details on what was discovered. Prosecutors said in court documents released Thursday that Kelly Smith and the others conspired to abduct Jocelyn and intentionally sold, delivered, or exchanged her. The suspect faced a sentence of life in prison if convicted of the main charge of human trafficking. The The 4 suspects left the courthouse, a town near Sladala Bay, in an armored police van as a large crowd gathered outside, repeatedly shouting justice for Jocelyn. Western Cape Province Police Commissioner Thiemsau told reporters that more arrests could be made, but authorities also had to refocus on the search for Jocelyn, which finding that your 6-year-old girl is the most important thing right now. At this stage, we do not have a child, he said. Our ultimate goal is to find the child. We still want to find the child alive. Authorities have given different spellings for the girl's name. Police identified her as Jocelyn, while prosecutors named her as Jocelyn in the document. It wasn't immediately possible to verify the spelling of her name. You know, when I first heard about that story, and I am so glad my mama and my parents didn't do me like this. And it's just disturbing that they would. How can you be involved in that? Of selling of a 6-year-old girl. Not only a 6-year-old girl, your 6-year-old daughter, Miss Kelly Smith. And it just shows you your character. Shows you how despicable you are, disgraceful you are. I just don't understand why you would do that to your own child, and that's just mind-boggling. And I go back and ask, what drugs are you on? What could have possessed you to think that this was a good deal? Or anything of that nature. Why do you think that what you did was acceptable? You put this young girl in harm's way. You don't know if she's dead or alive. Now, we all hope she's alive. That's what we hope for. That's the best case scenario. But in this day and age, the best case scenario doesn't always work out that way. But we're gonna keep that young lady in prayer. But it just shows you the disgrace. This woman, you are a disgrace, and the 3 that help you are as equally as disgrace. Your brother helped you. All 4 of y'all combined didn't have one working brain that put this thought that maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe this is wrong. This is my own daughter. Why would I put her in harm's way? Ain't enough drugs in the world. There's not enough alcohol in the world to make me think that was good or that was something that was acceptable. And the community should be outraged. And it tells you the outrage of it when they say they left in an armored car. Armored truck, because you knew if you leave out in an armored truck, there's somebody trying to get to you at some point. And I just don't know, and I'm sure it's gonna come out later on that she was on something. But for y'all parents out there, I know a lot of friends of mine have kids, but they would never do this. They wouldn't put themselves in a position where they would have to do that. And to bring this up and just say, would you do this, would be an insult to them. Because they would not do that. If you love your kids, why would you sell them at 6 years old? This 6-year-old depends on you to protect her. The main person that's protecting her is putting her in harm's way. Are supposed to protect us, putting her in harm's way. And I know this story hasn't got a lot of airtime. But over here on the Burnout, we gonna make sure we give it as much as we possibly can, because these 4 people should not see the day of light ever again. It should be life in prison without the possibility of parole. And if this young girl comes up dead, I don't know if they can. I don't think they can give them the death penalty for that because they didn't actually kill her, but you put her in a position to be killed, which is basically the same thing to me. But let's just get back to what we know. That this dumb woman, Kelly Smith, sold her 6-year-old daughter, from what the article says, News Nation, for a little bit over $1,000. So that's all your daughter's worth. $1,000. That's it. Well, if she's worth a little bit over $1,000, you're worth nothing. There's nothing about you that says moral or value. I don't really understand. It really confuses me to no limit on why you would treat your own daughter like this. You know, you're supposed to cherish your kids. You're supposed to love your kids. You're not supposed to sell them to the highest bidder. Then you don't know when you sold your 6-year-old girl to whoever you sold them to. You don't know what they got in mind to do with this girl. You don't know if they're gonna molest her. You don't know if they're gonna put her like a slave, or you don't know if they're gonna take her life. So why would you even think about putting your daughter in a position to go through something that horrible? And if the people who bought it, and this goes out, if y'all got any sense, which you obviously don't because you bought it, so that lets me know you don't have any sense. But if I was y'all, I would find the nearest police station and I would take her and drop her off there. Now you can say you found her, whatever you want to say, but you better get her back safely to get you out of the mess that you're about to get in. But in 3 weeks, now she's been missing for 3 weeks and her mother been lying, basically saying that she's been lost or kidnapped, or I don't know what she said. The article really didn't specify. But the one thing it did specify is that you are an unfit mother, that you really don't have anything in you. You empty. That's the sad part. You're empty. You dried up. There's nothing about you that shouts out dignity. If you ain't on drugs, you should be. Because if you're not on drugs and you did this, something is wrong with you. And if you was on drugs and did this, something is still wrong with you. But if you did this in your right mind, you need to be in an institution somewhere. You don't need to be in prison. You need to be locked up in a padded cell because something upstairs is not working. And it's evident it's not working. The worst thing about this story is the unknown. That's the worst thing about it, not knowing if she's safe or not. That's got to drive people up the wall. Because it would drive me crazy. Because it was just such a despicable act. It really aggravated me when I was reading it. You just don't think a mother would do that. And I know how to say it again. I'm not elaborating on that. You just don't think a mother would do that to her own child. But once I looked at her on the picture, I can kind of see something ain't right with her. You can see she has absolutely no emotion. And when they sentence her, they should have no emotion on that sentencing. The same energy you got now, you have that when they throw the book at you, you have that exact same energy. You can't do nothing like this and think that nobody's gonna know or find out what you actually done. Now this is what I'm thinking. The 3 people that helped her. Y'all are all idiots. The 2 women, her and another woman and 2 men. There was 4 involved besides the mother. It was her mother, another woman, and 2 men. None of y'all got the IQ of a chicken. I'm just gonna tell you, all y'all are a bunch of idiots. Because if somebody came to me with that foolishness, number 1, I'm not gonna get involved in it. That's the first order of business. I'm not going to get involved in it. You can hang it up. I'm not getting myself in that. The second thing, if you're trying to sell a 6-year-old girl, I'm going to the authorities and report you. Now, I don't give a dog about what nobody called me, you a snitch or whatever you want. A 6-year-old girl got no business being sold to nobody. 6-year-old girl need to be with her family. And for you to want to sell her, I'd rather see her took away from you than the alternative, which we are dealing with the alternative now that nobody knows what happened to her. Except the person who actually bought it. And you should be thrown in jail too. Because you have no dignity or no more morals or anything. If somebody come to offer you, I will sell you my 6-year-old daughter, and you accept it, you're as bad as this demon woman is. I really struggle to understand the logic behind any of this, because all this is foolishness. Every bit of it is foolishness. This mother need to be locked away in a padded cell. The 3 that with her need to go straight to prison for life without the possibility of parole. See, I'm one of these people that I can forgive anything that you do. But when it comes to elderly people, it comes to kids, it comes to you doing something that's this trifling, forgiveness is one thing, but there's punishment that should come in. The punishment should be severe. And that's nothing you can tell me. Now, that's just me. Now, I don't know if anybody else is unlike me, but there's nothing you can tell me to justify what you just did. Nothing. Can't tell me you need the money. Nothing you can tell me that I'm going to listen to. Because everything that you say, I'm thinking is bull. And that's the way I'm going to look at it. And I'm shocked that this is not making nationwide news. WSFA, CBS, NBC, MSNBC. This is not important enough. I know maybe it's in a different country. Oh, okay, that's fine. But this happens over here too. It's just not reported. It doesn't make the headlines. I don't care where a child is. If somebody does this, we should know about it. You got to bring awareness to this foolishness. And she can get up here and cry all the crocodile tears she wants. Oh, boo-hoo-hoo. I didn't mean it. You did. If you didn't mean it, you wouldn't have done it. I should have thought I wasn't thinking. You was thinking well enough. You was thinking enough that you were going to get $1,000 or a little bit over, whatever amount. There's no amount you can give me that will get me to do some foolishness like that. But she looked like she is missing something. When I'm looking at her picture, you can see that there's nothing in her. There's no compassion. There's no empathy. Shows no sorry. She's not sorry for what she did. She's just like an empty container. It just puzzles me that a parent would do this. I just never would imagine that a parent would do this. But now, the sad part about it is this probably happens more than we know. And we have known in this country, people have done even worse things than this. They done killed their kids because you didn't want them. You can always take them to an adoption place. You can always drop them off at DHR. There's 1,000 things you can do. I've known them drop them off at a police station, drop them off at a fire station. Anything is better than the alternative of killing them. Because no child deserves that. They didn't ask to be here. So instead of you holding up responsibility and take care of them while they're here, if you're not going to do it, would you please give them up to somebody who will? There's no reason to kill no kid. And this woman right here, this Kelly Smith, you basically just did that. if they don't find this woman, if they don't find this girl alive, you basically killed her. Now they can say, well, you didn't do it directly, but if I put you in a lion's cage, I did not kill you, but I put you in harm's way for you to get killed. So indirectly, I'm responsible for that. And indirectly, she's responsible for whatever happened to Jocelyn Smith. Cut dry. That's straight cut dry. That's nothing else. And I think if you're indirectly responsible for her death, you should get death penalty. But I know the argument. Well, she didn't kill him. Yeah, you might as well have. You put her in a position to get killed. That's just like, I can use every example in the book. Put you in a snake den. I didn't kill you, but I put you in a position where I knew you could get killed. So I'm just saying that this woman should, if something happened to Jocelyn Smith and she's not found alive, all four of them should be held responsible for her death. And they say, well, you too tough. You don't have no leniency. No, I do not have leniency, and I don't have tolerance for a child getting sold at 6 years old or any age to somebody else, and you don't know what they're going to do with it. And evidently, you didn't care. You made that perfectly clear. You didn't care what happened to her. So yeah, that really bothers me. And we have parents out here who have this. They don't have no regards for their kids, so they sell them, give them away, or kill them. I can respect you more if you gave your child away. Maybe you got to the point to say, I can't take care of them like they should be taken care of, or I'm not this, I'm not that. But you give them put them in a position where somebody can take care of them like they should be taken care of. Now the thing about this now, let's not go back to that movie, what is it, Raising Isaiah or something, when the black woman gave a child up and the white woman adopted, and then years later, you wanted to come get her back when you got cleaned up. Well, I wouldn't base it off a movie because that's not always a happy ending. But if you give your child away in your right mind because you just don't want them, and somebody adopt them, don't try to get them back. Don't put that child through that. You did what you wanted to do, and you did what you felt like you needed to do. So don't put them through that, because at that point, that's all that child knows is the other parent, and you come up there, just intervene and just mess the whole thing up. Losing Isaiah, I think that's the name of the movie, Losing Isaiah. But this woman here, Kelly Smith, she need to be, I say it again, locked up in a padded room. The key need to be thrown away, and she need to be in a straitjacket 24 hours a day. I can just imagine, and now we all can just imagine what this 6-year-old girl is going through. You knew this woman for 6 years, and then they put you with a complete stranger. Do you know the emotional toll that takes on anybody, not just her, but anybody, especially somebody 6-year-old that young, beautiful little 6-year-old girl, and this is your mother. This is the best thing she could do is to sell you to somebody for $1,000. You are worthless, lady. You are trash. And it's good they took you in an armored vehicle, because I'm sure somebody was trying to get to you. Well, the only thing we can do is hope for the best and hope that she comes back alive, healthy, and not molested in any kind of way. That's all we can hope for. And we'll keep you updated on this as much as we get it. And like I said, we hope we get some good news. And as soon as we get it, we'll come back and let you know. But now look, 30 minutes flies by. We try to get through as much as we can, but sometimes it's just one topics. They take so much time because it's so despicable what the topic is, and we need to give it our full and undivided attention. And this is one we should give our undivided attention to. Hey, but That's all we got for today. We'll be back next week, same time, same place on The Burnout. And remember, always flame up, never burn out. 2 fingers, peace.